In the fall of 2016, I started looking for internships for the following summer. I was extremely convinced at this point that I was a young, talented, all-star developer that every company would want. And so I only applied to large, very desirable tech companies. I applied to Facebook, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, companies like that. Oddly enough, almost immediately, I got an interview with Google, which boosted my ego through the roof. I put a lot of pressure on myself to ace this interview, and because of that, I completely failed the interview. However, I figured I'd get interviews from the rest of these companies, probably get some job offers, and then I'd have to make a difficult LeBron-like decision on ESPN. In this fall, I'm going to be taking my talents to face Mazan at Fluber chat. I'll take any questions. Pretty reasonable strategy, right? I thought so too, except there was one problem with my plan. After the Google interview, I got exactly 0 responses from everyone else. Not one interview. At the time, I thought this wasn't the problem at all because, they're really large companies and it takes them time to get through their applications, so I'll just apply to some medium-sized companies and brush up on my interview skills. Except here, I also ran into a tiny roadblock. I wasn't able to practice my interview skills because exactly 0 of these medium-sized companies offered me an interview. I started realizing maybe I wasn't as amazing as I thought, and I started looking over my resume. But I don't understand, this side project I did is absolutely amazing. Wait, I did this in high school 4 years ago? Huh. But I still have all this super relevant programming knowledge I learned in school. Wait a sec, I've only done 2 programming courses. Now that I think about it, I haven't done a single hackathon. Anyways, my idea of a LeBron-like decision essentially turned into begging anyone to get me a job for this summer. Talk about getting slapped in the face by reality. Rejections from these companies continued pouring in left and right, and I basically realized I'm gonna need to broaden my horizons. So I went to a university startup fair looking for basically any job I could find. The only problem was, when I talked to these startup people, this is pretty much how it went. Hi, I'm looking for a job. That's great. Let me just take a look at your resume. Yeah, I got a really good mark in calculus. Oh, cool. So what kind of things are you interested in? A job. I see that you made this cool game as your side project. Why don't you talk about that? Well, that was like 4 years ago, so I don't really remember it. Sounds good. I'll hold on to this one and we'll keep in touch. So this brings me to February. 0 job offers and actually exactly 0 job interviews as well. And then I get this email. Amazon Software Development Engineer Internship Opportunity. This arrives exactly 6 months after I applied to Amazon. However, during these 6 months, my self-esteem has gone from way up somewhere over there to way down in the bottom of the depths of the ocean. This was the first step in Amazon's hiring process, and it basically was just a logic assessment. Now, since I thought that I had absolutely no chance of getting an internship at Amazon, I basically just opened it up right away and kinda winged it. I think I got kinda lucky that it was basically just a bunch of logic puzzles, and I happen to really like those. After that, another week goes by, and then I get another email that basically says, congratulations, good job, and we'd like to invite you to the second stage of our assessment. So keep in mind that at this point, I'm still applying to a bunch of jobs, and I'm basically continuing to disappoint every single person I talk to. My mindset started shifting from, there's no way I'm getting this Amazon internship, to, this is pretty much the only chance I have, so Amazon internship or not, better try my best. I read the entire Cracking the Code interview. You know the one you can find online from like 6 editions ago? That's the one. I also did like a bunch of LeetCode questions, like 50 or so, and then I basically just opened the assessment and tried my best. So this time, 10 days go by, and then I get another email. Please schedule a phone interview through us. Excitement rushes through me because I haven't gotten an interview in 6 months. In 6 months, I haven't gotten an interview. At this point, I basically start hitting the LeetCodes hard. I start kind of neglecting my schoolwork just to practice LeetCodes as much as possible. And then when the time comes, I hop on the call for the interview. Looking back, I realized that the hundreds of unanswered applications from other jobs was what deflated my ego, and it was ultimately what lowered my expectation and allowed me to perform well during this interview. Also, the interviewer blessed me with a fairly straightforward question. It's question 138 on LeetCode if you're curious, although I think at the time it wasn't on LeetCode. So the moral of the story is, well actually there's 2 morals of the story here. The first one is to always be humble and sit down. In all seriousness, I understand that the road to success is a constantly moving target. Our definition of success keeps moving as we achieve it, but that road to success is never easy. The process is never simple, so we have to give it the respect it deserves. The second moral here is to not be discouraged by failure because it teaches us some of life's most important lessons. You can see my story here as a massive success that opened up a lot of opportunities for me. But in reality, it was a large series of failures, actually 100+ failures to be exact, from companies that didn't even want to set aside 30 minutes to talk to me. These outcomes are mostly out of your control, but what's not out of your control is what you learn from these outcomes and how you react to them. And no matter how upset you are at this one failure, or hundreds of failures in my case, you gotta understand that as long as you learn something from each one of these failures, each time you're going to be one step closer to where you want to be. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end. If you really like this video, consider sharing it with a friend who maybe needs this kind of motivation right now. And other than that, I hope that you experience a lot of failure because that's how you'll grow. And I hope you have a great day.